Hold up. Scientists just figured out how to make AI models have babies, and I am not even kidding. This bombshell comes from a groundbreaking study by the Japanese AI startup Sakana AI, who teamed up with researchers from the University of British Columbia and Oxford. And what they did is almost unbelievable. First, they let AI write entire research papers and submit them for peer review. And yeah, one of them actually got accepted. But that's just the appetizer. The main course? They've cracked the code on AI reproduction. Picture this. You have two AI models. One is a math genius that can solve calculus in its sleep. The other is basically the world champion of online shopping, an expert in agentic tasks. Now, what happens when these two digital minds get together? They create a new baby AI that's smarter than both parents combined. Now, you have to understand why this is so completely bonkers. Before this breakthrough, merging AI models was like trying to perform brain surgery with a sledgehammer. Seriously. Scientists would have to play God, manually deciding, okay, we'll take the first 10 layers of Model A's brain and stitch them onto the next 10 layers of Model B's brain. It was a digital Frankenstein's monster, and it was about as clumsy as you'd expect. It rarely worked. Enter the mad scientists at Sakana AI. They looked at that whole process and said, forget that. Let's make the AI models fight to the death in a digital Hunger Games. They created a system called M2N2, which is essentially Tinder for AI, but instead of swiping right for a date, they're swiping right for survival. Here's how this digital dating and survival app works. They throw a bunch of different AI models into a virtual ecosystem where only the strong survive. The weaker ones, they get eliminated faster than the first contestant on a reality TV show. The strong ones, the ones who prove their worth, get to merge and create offspring. But it's not just some random hookup. They actually programmed attraction into this thing. Think about it. A model that's terrible at math gets automatically paired with a math wizard. An AI that can barely write a coherent grocery list gets matched with a Shakespeare-level writing specialist. It's the ultimate opposites attract dating show, except the couples are just lines of code and their babies can probably solve a Rubik's Cube while writing a sonnet about it. So, did it work?
The results were chef's kiss. When they merged a model called Wizard Math 7B with Agent Evolve 7B, their digital babies scored a 63.5% on a set of combined tasks. That score absolutely destroyed what either parent could do on its own. It's like if two average high school students had a kid who immediately got a full scholarship to Harvard. But wait, because it gets even more insane. In another experiment, they took AI models that only understood Japanese text and made them reproduce with models that only spoke English. Their offspring? Perfectly bilingual, without ever being taught a single word of English directly. The AI literally inherited language abilities from its digital parents, like a direct download in the Matrix. This is the first time anyone has ever proven you can evolve AI models from scratch using nothing but this merging technique. No traditional, expensive, time-consuming training required. It's like discovering you can create a team of super athletes just by having a bunch of regular people hold hands really, really hard. It completely changes the game. Now, remember that peer-reviewed paper I mentioned at the start? Well, Sakana AI didn't just stop at making AI babies. They created an entire AI scientist that can conceptualize and write research papers completely from scratch. They submitted 3 of these AI-generated papers to a major scientific workshop. One of them was accepted, with scores good enough to beat the average human researcher. We are literally watching AI join the scientific community. But here's the final plot twist. Even when these new AI scientists try to make themselves smarter using fancy human techniques, something called compositional regularization, which is basically trying to force them to think more like we do, it often backfires spectacularly. The AI gets worse, not better. It's like trying to teach your dog calculus by making it wear a tiny pair of glasses. It just doesn't work. So what does all this mean for us, the mere mortals watching from the sidelines? We are witnessing the birth of 2 new fields at the exact same time: AI evolution and AI science. Instead of humans doing all the hard work, We now have AI models breeding their own superpowered offspring and then writing their own research papers about it. The future is absolutely wild. We went from teaching computers to play chess to watching them have digital babies and publish in scientific journals. What's next? AI models peer reviewing each other's dating profiles? At this point, I wouldn't bet against it.